Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook were the duo every NBA team dreamed of. They were young, talented, and best friends.
Kevin's like a brother to me.
Everyone thought they'd be teammates for life.
I could speak all night about Russell. I love you, man. I love you.
In the 2016 Western Conference Finals, they lost to their rivals, the Golden State Warriors, who were coming off the greatest NBA regular season of all time. They had a star-studded roster consisting of Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, all in their primes. It seemed there was no way this team could get any better, but in free agency, Kevin Durant did the unimaginable. He left the Thunder for the Warriors. This was one of the most controversial decisions in NBA history.
Well, I'm viewing that as the weakest move I've ever seen from a superstar.
I want to thank you, Kevin Durant. I want to thank you for saying this is your home, you hypocrite and liar.
How you gonna stop the best team in the NBA? You got any pride, any fucking dignity?
Let's go, rip it, trash. It's all trash. You're all trash.
At this time, the Oklahoma City Thunder were destined to run the NBA. They hit the lottery in the 2007, 2008, and the 2009 NBA drafts, landing 3 future MVPs in 3 years. By 2012, the Thunder had already developed into championship contenders. They dominated their way to the NBA Finals, but eventually lost to the Heat in 5. Everyone thought the Thunder would be back, as Durant, Westbrook, and Harden were all under 23, and yet to hit their ceiling. However, the front office was tasked with some difficult decisions to maintain this team. The Thunder had already signed Westbrook and Durant long-term, which meant they couldn't pay James Harden and Serge Ibaka. The Thunder couldn't convince Harden to take a pay cut and eventually chose to trade him to the Rockets before he hit his peak. This move was the first of many that led to the downfall of the Thunder. The next 3 years were filled with disappointing injuries. From 2013 to 15, Westbrook, Durant, and Ibaka all took turns missing significant time with injuries, and the Thunder were unable to put a substantial title run together. 2016 was the first time in 4 seasons the Thunder were healthy. In this year, Durant and Westbrook both finished top 5 in MVP and showed the NBA they were one of the best duos in basketball history.
Westbrook to Durant!
One of the best duos to play together, maybe ever.
Everything looked great for the Thunder, and their future was bright. After having the 4th best record in basketball, they went on a legendary playoff run. They ran through the Mavericks in round 1, beat the 67-win Spurs in round 2, and then in the Western Conference Finals took a 3-1 lead on the Golden State Warriors, who won an NBA record of 73 games in the regular season.
Golden State has looked overmatched to the point of being overwhelmed. They have no answers for what has happened in Oklahoma City.
If the Thunder could sneak out just one more win, they would have pulled off one of the most challenging finals runs of all time, although the Warriors had other plans.
And that will do it. The series lives on.
The Thunder looked to close things out at home in Game 6 and even had a 7-point lead with 5 minutes left. But Durant and Westbrook went ice cold to close out the game.
And pass. Durant stripped by Iguodala.
That got him excited.
Westbrook is off. Westbrook stumbling, he lost it. 25 to go. Durant for 3, rushed it. Had it knocked off his foot. Rebound Durant. And he lost it. The Golden State. Oh, Curry on the intercept. Finally, Durant came from out of bounds and they turn it over. And that will do it in one of the shockers in terms of a come-from-behind effort that we have seen in the playoffs.
In those final 5 minutes, the two went 0 for 5 from the field and gave up 6 turnovers. From this point on, the Thunder's offense ran ice cold again, facing up against the red-hot Steph Curry. They only scored 88 points in the deciding Game 7 and were eliminated.
The Warriors do it by becoming only the 10th team out of 243 to win a best-of-7 series while trailing 3 games to 1.
This was a very disappointing loss, but considering how close the Thunder were in every game, there's still hope that behind their 2 superstars, they could come back even stronger the next year. But there was a big elephant in the room. Kevin Durant was a free agent. Nobody really expected him to leave OKC. And he even told his teammates on the Thunder that he was not leaving. Yet what people don't realize was Durant was growing frustrated with the Thunder's play style. The Thunder's offense ran through Durant and Westbrook. While super talented, the team didn't work well as a cohesive unit, and they had to create their own looks primarily through isolations. The Thunder had no skilled shooters and were a team consisting of mainly athletic players but lacking role players, and Durant wanted a change.
With OKC, I played with a lot of athletes. I didn't play with a lot of skilled guys, not like shooters, ball handlers. So after a while, my game started to grow. I was like, I need a change. This is before the season even started. You know what I mean? And it was like, I'm gonna play out my last season as hard as I can. And I'm not telling anybody I want to leave. I'm not packing in. That was my thinking going in before the year.
Durant cares about one thing, and that's basketball. He cared little about what the media thought.
His goal, I just want to play good basketball. That just goes to show you what I said earlier, how much Kevin Durant just loves the game of basketball.
He's never been married, and he dedicates so much of his time to the game that he's even been seen in the club practicing his jump shot. He also typically spends his free time going to random AAU basketball games because all he can think about is the game. For Durant, the main goal was finding a team where he could play his best basketball, prioritizing his game above all else.
And so I knew all along that we would have a legit shot because I felt in my heart that we played the best brand of basketball.
Because Draymond knew Kevin Durant's passion for the game, he took the Thunder's loss as an opportunity to recruit his rival but good friend, KD.
After Game 7 last year, tell me if any of this is false, you sent a text right after the game while you were in the locker room to Kevin Durant and said what? What did that text say?
I told him we needed him to join the force and let's win some championships together.
Durant was devastated over this loss and loved the style of play that the Warriors developed.
And obviously I had a few teams, but the Warriors is a team I wanted to play for because the movement they had, the passing, they led the league in assists.
The problem was the NBA's salary cap is intentionally formatted so that no team can have more than 3 established stars. To pay all 3 stars the contracts they deserve and still be able to pay the rest of the team, there would be no room for a 4th star. However, in the case of the Warriors, Steph Curry was on a very team-friendly contract because of concerns around his reoccurring ankle injuries and it being signed before his career fully took off. Klay Thompson was also on a relatively team-friendly deal, leaving a little extra room. The last of the Warriors' big 3 to sign was Draymond Green in 2015. Green was coming off a strong season and was expected to take a near-max contract, but Draymond was one step ahead.
When I signed my first $82 million contract, I took less than what I could have gotten so we could pay Kevin the max the following year. Like, I was already looking ahead. Like, hey, we could possibly get Kevin Durant.
Signing Durant would still be stretching the Warriors' budget incredibly thin, but the Warriors lucked out again. The NBA salary cap was set to increase during the 2016-17 offseason by $24 million. This allowed the perfect amount of wiggle room to fit KD into their budget. All things considered, the Thunder almost beat the Warriors in the prior season. If Kevin Durant had any sort of loyalty, he would stay, right? This was what fans across the country unanimously thought. KD would stay with the Thunder alongside his close friend Russell Westbrook to try again at a championship. But when nobody expected it, the unthinkable happened.
It's here, and it's Golden State for Kevin Durant. Think about a 73-win regular season team, 1 win shy of back-to-back NBA titles, and they just got the last MVP not named Steph Curry.
Throughout the history of the NBA, superstars have almost always been loyal to their teams, especially when their teams were this close to winning. The only thing even remotely close to this was LeBron leaving the Cavs in 2010. But they surrounded him with very little talent, and he was leaving them to join an unproven Heat roster. As for KD, he was leaving a contending team that he'd been with since his rookie season, including a roster sporting one of his best friends and top 10 player in Russell Westbrook. He left this team and all respect for him behind to join a star-studded, all-time great roster who beat him in the year prior. He turned himself into a villain, following the motto, "If you can't beat him, join them." Fans across the NBA were outraged.
I'm about to find out where Durant lives and personally go punch him in the mouth.
I hate your ass, dude. I can't stand you. Kevin Durant is the biggest in NBA lifespan.
Thank you, Kevin Durant. I want to thank you for saying this is your home, you hypocrite and liar.
This was also the time period on YouTube where Rice Gum popularized making diss tracks about literally anything, which led to some cringe masterpieces like this.
Now you're taking shots at OKC? It's not our fault you ain't win MVP. It's not our fault your best friend Draymond Green.
Yikes. Durant created an unfair super team and left his best friend behind. The day he made the decision, Russell Westbrook posted a picture of cupcakes on Instagram. Thunder players used cupcake to call someone soft, so this was a jab at Durant. Fans then mocked Durant with cupcake shirts, signs, and chants.
Mr. Cupcake, I dedicate this to you.
This was just the start of the hate and threats that he received. The hate was more than any player could handle. Kevin Durant said he hit rock bottom soon after making the decision, and even regretted it. Reports said he called his agent early one morning and said, "Why the f*** did you let me do this to my life?" Durant was embarrassed, insecure, and mad about the criticism. He used burner accounts to defend himself on Twitter and was eventually caught when he accidentally replied to a tweet using his real account. As the season started, the hate for Durant kept growing. Despite this, he and the Warriors dominated as the best team in basketball. Everyone eagerly awaited his first game back in Oklahoma City on February 11th. The event did not disappoint. Fans filled the stadium with hateful signs and let him know how they felt.
Kevin Durant.
Then, as the game began, the two former best friends turned into enemies.
Officials gonna have to step in sooner or later as these former star teammates jawing at each other.
Over the next few seasons, the two got into multiple altercations on the court. The tension between them was real. Westbrook used this betrayal as motivation to get better and went on to win the 2017 MVP, averaging a triple-double, while KD continued to elevate his game to silence the haters and won the championship and finals MVP. The NBA was in an awful spot. There was a lack of competitive balance and the Warriors looked unbeatable. Kevin Durant went into the next season with the Warriors, and to nobody's surprise, they went on to win back-to-back championships with him. Everything was perfect with Durant and this super team, but as the saying goes, all good things, or bad depending on how you felt about this team, must come to an end. In Game 5 of the NBA Finals, Kevin Durant tore his Achilles, and in Game 6, Klay Thompson tore his ACL. Is this karma from the basketball gods to not allow a super team like this to continue its chokehold over the league? No, probably not. But this did signal the end of an era for this super team. They lost to the Raptors and Kawhi Leonard in 6 games. In this offseason, he declined his player option for the final year of his contract with the Warriors. He did this partly because he had a falling out with Draymond Green, the teammate who originally recruited him. The two got into multiple altercations throughout this year, and Draymond even refused to apologize, so the Warriors suspended him. Draymond, instead of apologizing, told Durant, "We don't need you. We won without you. Leave." And Durant did exactly that. Durant signed a deal with the Brooklyn Nets to team up with his other friend, Kyrie Irving. In his second year there, the Nets acquired James Harden, making them now a super team. But this supposed super team ended up being a huge flop. As for Westbrook, his time at OKC came to a close, but he's still beloved in the city. When he returned for the first time, he got a standing ovation, which was in stark contrast from what happened with KD. Westbrook will forever be a beloved player in Oklahoma City, whereas Durant's perception is tainted by his poor decision. Today, the drama is over. KD is still dominating, and Westbrook has fallen off a bit and been reduced to more of a role player. Both players turned 36 in 2024, which means their careers are coming to an end soon. They will both be remembered for their legendary play, but one as a hero and the other as a villain. If there are any other basketball videos you'd like us to talk about, let us know in the comments. And subscribe.